Hey everyone, welcome to the Lidocaine Drip.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jess, and we'll be your host for today.
And always.
We're not really organized on this podcast.
Not organized at all.
But we're going to have fun along the way.
You know, we're here to talk about what you may be thinking throughout the day and don't say, or what you do say and get in trouble for saying. That's usually what I do.
In all seriousness, we made this podcast to combat mental health issues in veterinary medicine.
Mental health in general.
And we're here to inject humor into the darkness of our lives.
Very dark, very, very dark lives.
So let's get down to it.
Let's get down to it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Lidocaine Drip. This is episode 7. And Kevin and I are actually separated right now when we're recording this. So we're trying to be technologically advanced and use Skype to record this. And hopefully it sounds good when we're all done, because I really don't have any idea what I'm doing.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to, you know what? Okay.
Okay.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So,
yeah.
Kevin, do you want to introduce the two people that you are with right now in San Francisco?
I'm with these two beautiful souls from another planet named Dahlia and Peter. And that's pretty much it. No. Yeah, say hello.
Hi, I'm Dahlia.
I'm Peter.
And do you guys want to tell everybody a little bit about yourselves? Something interesting, or we'll get into the meat of the episode, but I don't know, just so they know you guys.
We are. Yeah. So I am an ex-mortician.
Ooh.
I went to the San Francisco College of Mortuary Science here in San Francisco, and I'm currently a safety inspector working for the government, the state of California.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So I guess I'm a retired embalmer.
At such a young age.
At such a young age, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a native to Berkeley, California. And currently I'm obsessed with tropical and subtropical plants.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
Oh, I've seen your backyard on Snapchat. Kevin's been kind of creeping all over your property, and I must say I'm in love with it.
I love
Yay.
that.
Yeah.
I feel like my underwear too. It's like so personal.
I know, he's been like invading your privacy. I've also seen Snapchats of your dogs, so I feel like I'm practically like there with you guys.
Yay, you are here with us.
We are, yeah.
We're down a dog now, but yeah.
Yeah, we're down one dog.
Aw. Well, that's
One
okay.
Chickens,
Yeah, the chickens. It's like a little homestead.
tons of bromeliads.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Well, I wish I could say that I'm living an exciting life here. I'm just sitting on your couch, Kevin, with your dog. She's kind of ignoring me.
Is she hear my voice?
She's kind of ignoring me. Like, she acts all excited when I come in to feed her, and then like I actually sit down and spend some time here. Like, I studied here last night, and she just like did not even interact with me. She just like curled up and went to sleep.
She's depressed.
I don't think so. I take her on a long walk every day.
I just like to think that she's depressed. If she's happy when I'm not there, that makes me sad.
Aw.
So
He wants
Sometimes
her to be
I
depressed
want her
in
to
his
be
absence.
miserable.
Be like,
We're drinking a nice rosé wine. Dahlia and Peter love the rosé.
ooh, that's
Yeah, flows in our veins.
oh well. I mean, it practically grows in your backyard, so.
yeah.
I had a margarita because it was Taco Tuesday. And,
Nice.
yeah, that I can't have too much more because I'm on call tonight. So, there you go.
Life
But
of a resident.
life of a resident. Well, should we start out with? Did you prepare them to have like light effects and the mental health
Okay.
check-in?
Peter might have a light fact about cemeteries versus a graveyard, but I have one.
Okay.
I didn't want to give him too much stress.
We have to do mental health check-in first?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say that, but
Okay.
So
Well,
how are you today? I'll let you go first.
Oh, man.
You said you had a lot to tell me, so.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So this has been like, it's been a week. All right. So, I was in Ohio last weekend. Well, like almost a week and a half ago for like 4 or 5 days. I was gone. I was out of town at a conference. And so I had set it up with you that I was going to watch your animals for the 2 weeks that you're gone. And then when I'm in Ohio, the day before I'm supposed to come back, I get a phone call from somebody who I know who says they have to leave town emergently because their dad is going into hospice care. And
my God.
And can I watch their dogs as well? And I was like, well, of course. And then inside I'm kind of like, shit, like, what am I going to do now? And it just makes a little bit more work for me, but you know what, whatever, we adjust. So I'm like, okay, fine. That's going to be okay. Of course my plane is delayed coming back. So I don't get home until 10:30 last Sunday night. And I walk into my house. I had somebody meeting me there with that person's dogs, at my house. And I walk into my house and my window in my living room is shattered. And I have no idea what happened. I don't know if somebody tried to break into the house when I was gone. I don't know if my dogs broke it, which could be possible, but given where the break was, it was kind of a weird location for them to be like playing and break the window. And on top of all that, right? So I have the 3 dogs. I have my 2 German Shepherds and then the puppy. And my landlord doesn't know I have the puppy because I was like, what? Like he's a third of the size of my German Shepherd. So like, who cares if it's another dog? Because he's practically a cat at this point. So I have to call him and be like, hey, my window got shattered. I don't know what happened. I'm happy to pay for it because I don't know. Like, I assume I actually have this fear that he just like hates me anyway and wants to kick me out of his house, which is totally irrational, but that's where my mind goes. So then I have to play this game where, okay, let's find cardboard to cover up the shattered window. And that's all well and good. Fine, whatever. Everybody goes to bed. And then all last week. So I had to play musical dogs and in my little car, I had to do 2 big Dobermans, my German Shepherd and, the puppy, the pit bull puppy. And I had help. Tanner came and helped me. Thank you, Tanner. But I had to get the dogs out of the house so that the landlord could come over and look at the window and figure out what he was going to do with it. So that happens. That night, like I start to get really sick. So I actually got really sick and I still have a little bit of a cough from last week. And Thursday night I was on call. I got 2 hours of sleep because I got called in for a dystocia and I had signed up and so we stay up all night and then we're expected to work a full day the next day. Right. So I stayed up all day through Friday. I had signed up Friday to work in the ICU overnights so that I could get a little extra cash. So I was supposed to work from 11 p.m. to 9 a.m. Saturday morning. So I basically stayed up for 36 hours straight. I'm sick. I've got like my regular job and then my second job, which is studying on top of all of that. And it was just, last week was just a lot to deal with.
And watching someone else's dog and my dog and cat.
Uh-huh. Somebody else's.
You didn't take Mame to your house, but she would have freaked out with 5 dogs.
Oh, I know. No. And when I found that out, I was like, no, I'm not going to bring her to my house. So she's been at your place and I've just been coming over twice a day and hanging out a little bit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that,
very sweet.
What was that?
Very sweet.
Yeah. She's good. She's a good girl. Anyway, so that's my week. I'm feeling a little better now that I'm not sick anymore, so that's good.
That's a positive, I guess.
Yeah. But how are you?
I'm good. I had a horrible experience flying to San Francisco.
Oh no. Yeah, didn't you have to like jump out of the plane because the plane wanted to continue on to LA or something like that?
I have never begged a representative over the phone as much as I begged, like literally begged the airline when I flew to San Francisco from New Orleans. I tried to do this whole like get a cheaper ticket, and like I'm not going to say it because I think it's like, I don't know, it's not necessarily legal, but anyway, I got a cheaper flight, and then I'm also on United Airlines basic economy seat, and when you have a basic economy seat, you can't bring a regular carry-on bag onto the plane. You have to bring like a backpack size item onto the plane. So I went with my full-on big, full-size carry-on, like stuffed to the brim with like clothes, and I was like, oh, it'll all work out in the end, like I'll get on the plane, blah blah blah. So I get there, try to check in and get my like carry-on onto the plane. They wouldn't even let me get my ticket. They like literally were like, nope, you can't check in, like your bag needs to be checked and it's going to go to a different destination, because I booked like a one-way ticket to a further destination, and I was going to get off at the connection and not get back on. But it was like $120 cheaper, blah blah blah. So they wouldn't let me on, and then they were like, well, your bag's going all the way to your final destination, that's it. And so I was like, well, I can't have it do that. Like, can I check the bag at the gate like it says online? And they were like, no. So then I went back to my car. I had an hour left till my flight left. I called United Airlines and begged like 50 people. And then like somehow miraculously by God or something, or who the hell knows, I was able to get my seat like upgraded, and I brought my full-size carry-on. Get to the security line. It's like 10 lines of people, and my flight leaves in like 15 minutes. And I hear like 10 minutes before like the final boarding on the ticket, it says like, 5:51 a.m. is final boarding. I hear over the loudspeaker like final boarding for a blah, blah, blah flight to San Francisco. So I just ducked under all the rows of people and bolted past them. Didn't even I would never in a million years do this, but I bolted past them, like went all the way to the front, and didn't care like who was pissed at me. And I was like, I need to get through. And so I got through the security line, and I didn't even put my shoes on, and my feet were like sticking out the back like they were slippers. I ran a hot mess to the gate. They were about literally closing the door, literally like in a movie, closing the door. And I was like panting like a dog. And I was like, I'm here. And he was like, you just made it. And he was like, where's your ticket? And I couldn't find my ticket or talk because I couldn't breathe. So I made it.
Aww.
My first day. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm good. I'm having a great week in San Francisco, or 2 weeks. Having a lot of wine, a lot of food, meeting a lot of new people. Almost feeling like, basically, like I should move here now. So,
well,
yeah, we're going to see.
You did submit some
documentation
to.
I submitted an application to a vet here, but I'm a mess. I don't know what I'm doing.
Come on, man.
Oh my gosh. Well,
yeah,
that sounds like a harrowing story.
The first night I got here to Dahlia and Peter's, they were watching this dog for someone, so everyone's been watching dogs. And their dog, what happened the moment we walked in?
Wait, what happened with
happened with Z?
Her blood?
Yeah, right when we walked in. It was just me and you.
And
my grand arrival.
Well, you have to explain that she has the skin condition. What is it called? Calcinosis?
Calcinosis cutis.
Oh, okay.
And she's an older dog, but I guess her sores, I don't know, they explode.
They just like erupt, yeah. Explode, yeah, that's a good word.
They erupt. Few of them erupted, and I had to have Kevin basically be my vet for the entire week.
You sound very... She's like, oh my God, what do I do, Kevin? What do I do? Do I take her to the vet?
It was awful.
Just bleeding everywhere, scratching.
Poor baby.
Aww.
It was awful. But it was nice to have Kevin here because he took care of it.
Yeah.
We went through a lot of shirts.
Cleaned her up, bandaged her up. And at night, he slept with her.
I slept with her. She's like a walrus.
Aww.
Yeah, she snores louder than any animal or human I've ever been in contact with. It sounds like she's listening. She's in the next room. It sounds like you're listening to drum and bass.
That's funny. Well, I guess we should probably extend the question to Peter and Dahlia. How are you guys doing today?
Good. I'm I'm doing great. I had a nice day at work. I've had a really lovely time with Kevin. I feel like I've been on vacation. By just going out and showing and stuff. Yesterday we went to our beautiful Lakeview. Is it Lakeview Cemetery? What is it called?
Lakeview Cemetery.
Lakeview Cemetery, where the Black Dahlia is buried.
Oh.
But we did not see her tombstone. But it's a beautiful, beautiful cemetery here in Oakland. And we had bagels and coffee and strolled. And then it was really lovely. So I've been having a really nice time. I'm going to miss him when he leaves.
Good.
I want him to go.
I know.
But it's been 4 years since we've seen each other. So
that's too long.
It's too long. But what's really cool is that it feels like it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
Like we just pick up where we left off.
Absolutely.
Which is it's a sign of a good friendship. So.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. And Peter?
Today was great. I didn't have to go to work, so I got to do some gardening. Got to put some plants in the ground. Got to put some plants in pots.
Sounds lovely.
Get some dirt underneath my fingernails, which is always a good thing.
Always a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Wanted some plants in the ground, so it's like everyone's winning.
It's a win.
The more plants that go in the ground, the more you could go buy. My theory.
That's my theory too.
Well, all right. I guess do you guys have any, I don't know, stress relieving or anxiety relieving tips that you could say? Like you both said, hey, I was off work today, or Peter was off work and Dahlia was just having a nice time. Feels like she's on vacation because Kevin's in town. What do you guys do when you feel yourself getting stressed out to make yourself feel better?
Have a glass of rosé.
Have a glass of rosé. Yeah.
Or bottles.
Or a bottle.
Well,
or injected in my veins.
Oh.
You just got to work with plants.
Oh, that's a good.
You just go out in your garden if you're fortunate enough to have one.
And even if you have a small, tiny little.
And you have houseplants, take care of your plants, because then you're focusing on your plants and not your problem.
Oh, I like that.
If you don't have plants, go outside and get in touch with some.
I like that.
And
well, I think that the thing about having your own plant is that you get so much pleasure in seeing it thrive.
Yes.
It's like if you plant something from seed and then you actually see what it becomes. It's such a beautiful feeling, and even if it's just like your plant in Grenada. Remember that one plant?
I bought it at the market for $5, like the size of like my hand, and then it grew into like a tree.
And it was doing so well, and it was so happy. And when you would see that plant happy, it would make you happy.
Yeah, and I talked to my plants. Dahlia taught me to talk to them, and ever since then, I put my hand on it, and I would like talk to it, and they would just like
sing. Yeah, they listen.
I love that. So personally, I do not have a green thumb. Like I can keep animals alive, but for some reason I have a hard time with plants. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like the plants would be the easier ones to take care of than animals, but apparently that is not the case for me. So I don't know. I don't know what that says.
Try succulents.
Yeah, they die.
Really? Because those are the mother-in-law tongue, the snake plant.
I do have one of those in my bedroom, and it's still alive. I've had it for a couple months. It still looks pretty good.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that an animal will tell you. Well, hopefully the animal will say, "Oh, I have to go. I'm sitting by the door because I have to go out and go to the bathroom," or "I'm going to go lie down on your lap because I'm sleepy." The plant won't tell you that, but if you keep looking at the plant and checking for signs like, oh, its leaves are yellowing, or oh, it's got new growth, or it's starting to turn brown on the ends, then you say, oh, well, I need to do something. And with the internet, you can actually just look online at what any kind of plant needs.
That's probably a good resource to use, the interwebs.
But I feel like if you can take care of a plant, it shows that you're like aware of another the state of another being outside of yourself.
That was a deep thought.
Yeah, that just got deep real quick.
If you can take care of animals, you can definitely take care of plants. It's the people who can't take care of plants where you're like, wow.
Please don't get an animal.
Please don't get
We're talking to one right now.
Or please don't have children.
Care of animals, we already know that. It's
maybe you're really busy and you need to get more low maintenance plants, but
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I would have to look at the kinds. I try to go for low maintenance plants, and I've had succulents. So I lived in Arizona for a year and they did fine there. And I think just being in this humid climate where we are now, it's just, I don't know, like I don't water them but once a month because that's what everybody tells me to do, but I still feel like they just die. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
You have to cater to each plant like it's a child.
Yeah, but you're also not gonna like you have to. There's a reason why certain plants grow in certain places, and so part of it is like you have to set yourself up for success.
True.
So like just like you wouldn't. Like there's a reason why Arctic foxes thrive in the Arctic and why they don't thrive in the jungles of Central America.
Yeah, heat stroke.
Right. But so like there, if you were like a fox store, you wouldn't be like, oh, like let's sell Arctic foxes in Alabama, or like you just would be like, they're not going to do well here.
In the South, anything would happen. So
yeah, that's
mm-hmm. Yeah, so like you have to make slightly informed choices about the plants you're going to get. If you live in a cave with no light, you don't get full sun plants. If you live in a really bright house that gets hot and dry, don't get plants that like to live in the shade in a humid place.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem is like nothing gets dry here.
Yeah. So
like it's just like moist year round.
Jungle Peter plants, you should get some bromeliads. You should get some palm trees.
Hate it.
It's so funny.
Yeah, palm trees. He just bought some palm trees.
Palm trees. You should get some
Well, okay. The other thing I have to be aware of is animals. Like it cannot be toxic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that also limits what I can have because the dogs for the most part won't go after them, but it's the stupid cats that are just like, oh, green, I need to chew on this, and you're like, please don't. That's a lily. You're gonna die. I don't buy lilies, but
you should just get you should get some catnip and just like grow it in little, like grow it in and bring it inside, and then they can just chomp on that.
So I can have stoner cats. It's actually pretty funny when they have that.
Or just get some, or you can even get grass like wheatgrass and just grow it in a little bowl, and then just put it by their. We used to put wheatgrass in a little bowl. You just get a little flat of it, like a little 6-pack of it, or regular grass, a little 6-pack, and then you just put it next to their food bowl. And then if they're eating and they're like, oh, I need to chomp on some green grass, I'll just chomp on that.
That's a great idea.
It's just on the floor in the kitchen next to their water bowl and everything.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Actually, I would do that for my cat.
I know.
By the way, we're like in a forest right now. There's like 50 plants around me in the living room alone.
I love it. I would love that life, except for my dogs would knock all of the shit over.
Oh, we had a walrus here, and she did not knock over anything.
Kevin, you've been to my house, and you've seen the chaos that surrounds me.
Mm-hmm. That's life.
Yeah, true. Okay, well, that was kind of a segue from our mental health check-in. Should we do Lidocaine? Do you have one?
Yeah, I have a Lidocaine.
Okay, do you want to go first?
The easiest one I've ever gotten by just logging on and typing a word in.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so my Lidocaine always has to be about animals, and mine's about San Francisco animals.
Okay.
So, bison, okay, not buffalo, of course, the article really emphasizes not buffalo, have called Golden Gate Park home for more than a century. I'm sure both of you knew that, right?
Yeah, I've been there.
We've been there. We visited them.
So for more than 100 years, bison, which many people refer to as buffalo incorrectly, great, my article's reloading, Okay, so have been living in an enclosed field by Spreckles Lake in Golden Gate Park. Like, I didn't even know there was a lake in the park.
That's where we're going to go rowboating and drinking rosé at Stowe Lake.
I know.
Oh, I want to come.
Just hop a flight.
Don't fight.
Don't book United.
Yeah.
Yeah, NBD, sorry, patience. I just got to leave. You're going to deal with your own.
It's what it is.
You got to see some bison.
Bison. The park's first two bison were named after the then president Ben Harrison and Sarah Bernhardt, the famous stage actress.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, but unfortunately, due to bouts of various diseases and other crises, basically, the bison are being now cared for by the San Francisco Zoo, and the herd is smaller than ever, with only about 5 female bison left. That's a little sad. Also, there are parrots that are living la vida loca in San Francisco, according to SanFranciscoWeekly.com. So, in 2003, a flock of feral parrots living in the northern tip of San Francisco became minor celebrities thanks to a documentary and a book called The Wild Parrots of Telegraph Hill.
Yeah.
The birds, the bulk of which are red-masked parakeets from Ecuador and Peru, have now been spotted all over the city in neighborhoods like Noe Valley. Is that how you say it? Noe Valley in Corona Heights, and it's estimated that there are about 200 of them.
Huh.
And there's also a flock of wild parrots living in the Mission, but those are canary-winged parakeets. And apparently the two types of birds don't get along, so you'll never see them in the same place at the same time.
It's like West Side Story, but with birds.
Oh, this is like intense.
I have an animal fact that I just looked up.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's hear it.
House. Did you know that dogs sniff good smells with their left nostril?
I did not.
How did they test that?
I don't know. But what it says is that dogs normally start sniffing with their right nostril, then keep it there if the smell could signal danger. But they'll shift to the left side for something pleasant, like food or a mating partner.
Oh.
I have both nostrils for my mating.
I go in face first. My whole head goes up in their butts.
Ooh la la! Is that how you got Peter?
Indeed.
It worked.
Yeah.
I got the magic skills.
Over here.
Oh.
Well, maybe they have different regions of their brain associated with different nostrils.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. But next time, let's observe the dogs when they come in and smell. See if they smell.
Yeah, what are you gonna see them tilt their nostril?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Like maybe they move their little.
Maybe they'll move their head to one side or another.
I don't know. Yeah. So Peter, I think you had something.
Peter has one.
Oh, my fact was not about animals.
No,
it doesn't have to be. That's just Kevin's thing.
Your animal train.
No, but that's good.
Get off the animal train.
Yeah.
Oh, so my fact was when we were driving through Lakeview Cemetery yesterday, I asked everybody if they knew the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery.
Do you know the difference?
I don't know. I feel like a graveyard would be mostly unmarked, and then a cemetery would have more like headstones and stuff. But I don't know if that's. I think that's probably wrong.
Wrong.
Cemeteries are usually larger burial grounds, and graveyards tend to be smaller and are usually associated, or in the past were associated with churches.
Oh.
If you have a little church, you have the graveyard in the back where everyone's buried.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we went to a cemetery yesterday?
We were in a cemetery because there was no church there.
Wow. It was like the rich kids at Beverly Hills Cemetery.
This is the cemetery where Ghirardelli chocolate is buried. So it's like all their mausoleums are just unbelievably beautiful.
Okay.
They have more in their cemetery than like I'll ever have.
I mean, it's
the square footage of those mausoleums is bigger than a lot of people's studio apartments here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and they're all granite.
And Otis.
And they're gorgeous.
Man.
Yep.
All right. Well, those were all very interesting facts. I don't know if mine's going to be able to do that. But okay, so we all know or are familiar with the TI-83 calculator, right? We all had one in like math class, and it's like you would honestly just be playing Tetris, but then sometimes you'd have to like make a graph on it. You guys all had one of those?
Yeah, we did.
We did. Yeah.
Okay.
You can write boob if you use 8008.
I think that was any calculator.
You could graph boob.
This one you could actually type words in too. It was like the big one that was like
The screen.
Yeah. So, okay, that calculator has 6 times more processing power than the computer that landed Apollo 11 on the moon.
Whoa.
So
and it
they
was
basically rode a calculator to the moon, but like half a calculator.
Well, that's a little scary.
I know, right? Mm-hmm.
To the moon.
What?
Is that what she said?
No.
Yeah, he wrote a calculator to the
Yeah,
moon.
he wrote a calculator to the moon.
Yeah,
Like,
but,
basically
I mean, that calculator was...
less than a calculator.
But you think about it, like our cell phones are more powerful than a computer that would take up like a city block
Yeah.
50 years ago.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
That's real life
There you go.
when you have semiconductors,
You made it to the moon still, so.
microprocessors.
Would you guys go to the moon if you could?
Sure.
I don't know if I would.
I don't think you will.
Yeah, I think that I would be way too. What if I get? What do I do if I have anxiety? And I'm by myself.
You're not by
You're
yourself. You're
dealing
with your homies on a spaceship.
Oh, I'm not by myself. Well, who's on the boat? On the boat.
Hopefully nobody.
I'll take the boat to the moon.
How much rosé have you had?
Are we riding solo? I know a lot. No, like a glass and a half, right?
Yeah.
Are we going solo, or do we have companions with us?
Companion.
Yeah, let's say that SpaceX really takes off.
Yeah.
You can like basically take it's like Amtrak to the moon.
Yeah.
I hate Amtrak.
Me
Let's
too.
say it's like you take a little. It's like flying on Southwest. No, I hate
Southwest.
Fuck Southwest.
JetBlue.
Excuse my language.
No,
Let's
you
say
can swear.
have
We have to say
JetBlue.
explicit on
No,
this.
we say explicit on every podcast because we always fucking swear.
Let's say you could it's like boarding a plane and you fly around space
Oh no.
and you get to the moon. I would absolutely do it. To be able to see Earth as this tiny little planet, this ball in
I already
space.
do.
I don't know if I would. I feel like I like the not it's not an illusion, but I like the idea of the moon. I like being able to see it in the sky, and it reminds me of something bigger. And I feel like I don't know if like being there, if it would be like building it up in your head, and then you get there and you're like, oh, this is it.
I don't think it would ever be that. Like, you're going to the moon, you're just like, oh, it's okay.
I want to go to the moon so that all the people who say, oh, they've never been to space, all those moon shots were in a desert in Nevada, it's a government conspiracy. You can be like, okay, actually, suck on my government conspiracy because this conspiracy has been there and back.
Or you could just be like, because I've been to Nevada and it doesn't look like this.
Well, but did you hear about the guy who built a steam-powered rocket and shot himself 1,800 meters into the air? This happened like less than a month ago.
What?
Really?
Did he make it?
He believes the Earth is flat,
Okay.
and he was like, well, I'm going to prove that it is, or I'm going to see for my damn self. So he shot himself 1,800 meters or something into the air.
Huh.
In a homemade steam-powered rocket so that he could see the curvature of the Earth from space and basically prove himself wrong.
So he survived?
He survived. The parachutes in the nose cone of his rocket were not didn't slow him down enough, so he actually got a little banged up on re-entry when he landed.
Re-entry? How far did he go?
But re-entry, then he's going back down. But
did he get into the galaxy? Like
he got into the galaxy.
He got into the black part, like outside of Earth.
The black part.
The black part.
Oh my god!
Some people.
That wasn't a racist comment, by the way.
Some people are really into it.
Okay. Well,
Black part.
interesting.
But I don't know if it changed his mind, but he's a little more of a black celebrity.
How many followers does he have on Instagram? Because that's all that matters in life.
He probably doesn't have an Instagram because he's been too busy building a steam-powered.
I feel like that would take a long time, especially if you were doing it solo.
It's easy to get sucked into conspiracy theories. Me and Dolly got sucked into the Ebola conspiracy theory. If you typed in YouTube Ebola, like conspiracy, we got sucked into we're all gonna die.
That was more you.
But no, you were.
You made me freak out, but yes. And then we watched that movie World War Z, and then
we really freaked out.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Zombies.
well,
And you were going back to America, so I was like, "Good luck. I hope you don't die in the Ebola outbreak."
Yeah,
but
the Ebola outbreak would be more prevalent in Grenada than in America because it's such a smaller island.
Yeah.
I know it's secluded and safe.
Yeah. Well, what were you saying, Peter?
Nothing important.
Well, I don't know. So I guess you guys brought up zombies. Would Peter and Dahlia, would you guys think you would survive in the zombie apocalypse? Because Kevin and I already talked about that once before. What do you guys think you would be able to survive in the zombie apocalypse?
It depends. I think that Peter would definitely survive. I would be a good follower, but I would not be a good leader. I know that about myself. I don't have the skills to make things. Like how yesterday you were trying to do the camera thing and you guys both went and got tongs and you figured out how to solve a problem. I don't know if I could do that.
But I feel like, so I'm somebody who doesn't really like to watch scary movies.
I don't either.
But I feel like you're also looking at the zombie apocalypse in the lens of what they show on TV.
Well, what else could it be? Do you watch The Walking Dead? Does anybody watch The Walking Dead?
Do you watch all the idiots on their iPhones all the time, crashing their cars and walking in front of you?
Well, they would be the first ones to go.
But they're virtually no, listen.
No more grinder for you, Kevin.
So that's another fact we were going to bring up.
I'm sorry. Or
no, but they're virtually zombies anyway. Being so.
Oh gosh, you're going deep, Peter. I like you. Keep going with this.
But I mean, those people are the ones who are so tied into all of this nonsensical, bullshit around them.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think they would not survive because
they're kind of like zombies? I mean,
they are zombies. So we are in the zombie apocalypse.
They're kind of walking
dead.
I mean, we might already be in the zombie apocalypse.
Oh my god!
What? Oh jeez.
There, bro.
But you have to be the one, whether it's zombies or whatever. You have to be the one that can step back and look at the big picture and be oh, look at that mass of people. They're walking as one, and they're acting idiots. I need to. You need to, instead of being well, I'm just following whatever the news says and whatever's coming up on my feed on my phone. You have to be the one to be oh, well, let me step back from that and say, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to move out of town. I'm going to have my little place or whatever, and I'm going to live off the land, and I'm not going to eat weird food from, if you want to get into conspiracies or something. But I mean, there are so many zombies out there. You look at the people who just do stupid shit on, the kids who snort condoms up one nostril and then pull it out of their mouth.
What? Yeah, I heard that's the new Tide Pod challenge thing. They're doing that shit now.
People are
how do you get a condom up your nose?
But those people are living a weird zombie reality where they're so. Yeah. They're following these trends that you're just are you even connected to your body and the real world?
I completely agree. I read this thing a while ago about how like everybody is actually really lonely. And it's because we live through these.
Two in this house, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's
what?
Not these two in this house because they're not lonely together.
Well, no, but so like as a society, we all like we interact with virtual people essentially all day long. Like, okay, I got likes on this photo I posted on Instagram, or I posted this thing on Facebook and I got this and that. And like, that's how people get their validation, and they're not actually having face-to-face, like in-person contact with other people. So we're actually, in essence, we're very lonely because we're craving that like personal contact and we're just not getting it.
I love that. That's so true.
But
so how about all four of us?
Yeah, so why don't you turn on the video feed on this thing so we can actually see who we're talking to?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I guess we can. But if it slows down the recording, whatever.
Can you go for a week?
Well,
Can you go without your phone for a week? One whole week.
See, this is where it comes into play. Like, I love being. Oh, not.
Hey, there's
your microphone.
Whoa, look at that mic.
yeah, it's the big mic. I can't see you though.
Oh, here we
we're
are.
dark.
Oh, there you are. It is dark.
Like, so professional with the mic like that.
I know, right?
Stern show or something, you know,
I know.
else sitting there.
I need to put on some headphones so I look like I have some cred.
Oh, go get my headphones. They're on the they're in my bag.
Totally, they're sound canceling, but they will make me look.
So
yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I thought that the whole idea. My fan's going, Kevin.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Should we pause it? And you know how to turn the fan off while you're talking?
No. Oh, I'm trying to do it right now. See, it's because I turned on the camera.
The camera
Oh,
here.
yeah. It's like I'm on Howard. Hey, Howard.
Oh, you got it. Well, this is great. Oh shit, I don't know how to do it.
Go to SMC fan control.
No, it's on right now. I have it on.
Are we
Everybody
overloading your chips? We're overloading your
probably.
CPU?
Yeah, I've got a lot of shit going right now. Uh-oh.
My beautiful apartment. There's not one plant right there. I have one plant.
I gotta turn this back off, or it's just gonna be the fan the whole time.
All right, well,
Long and
this could be a
prosperous.
segment video.
Nice to see you.
I don't know if
We'll turn it back on after when we're not recording.
Well, I don't gotta turn mine off.
Yeah, I don't know. It just started. If you guys hear in the background people listening, the fan, I apologize. My old ancient computer, but anyway, so yeah, if I guess like part of maybe that's the thing is like I know I already mentioned I'm addicted to my phone personally. So it's a bad habit. Trying to break it, but I don't know how.
We were talking, so you were bringing up the no phone for a week. For me, it's hard. Like, I'm looking for jobs. I'm trying to respond to
But
interviews.
you could do it on your laptop.
Yeah, but then I can only do it when I get home.
But that's okay then,
But then
right?
what if like a job writes to me, like it's like crunch time for...
Oh, I see what you're saying. You might miss opportunities.
Yeah,
but there's also a difference
But they wait.
between
Opportunities will wait a
There's
day.
also
They give
a
you at least 24 hours to
between
respond.
getting your personal validation from the phone.
Yeah.
Like, I post a picture on the internet, like on Instagram, rarely. And when I do, the first thing I don't do is go see how many likes I get.
Yeah, I don't care about likes.
Like, I don't care about likes. I barely even know how
I
to do
fixed
this.
it, I think. Hopefully.
Good. Come sit, Beepers.
So that kind of thing, but that kind of thing is like part of, what do you use it for?
Your phone?
Yeah, like I don't have a Facebook.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of that.
Well, okay. Part of my job is like we communicate through the phone. So I honestly I have to take my phone with me everywhere because when I have patients in the hospital, they will call me 24/7 if there's a problem. So I can't like ever not be with my phone, which I think is part of the problem. I also I used to be able to turn my phone off, or like I would just do it for like the whole day sometimes. But now I can't do that either because if I have patients in the hospital or I'm on call, I just can't do it. So
I had a big thing this morning when we were on the BART, the system. I specifically don't use my phone the whole ride.
Yeah.
Which that's like my little way of like trying to like resist. But it's like one of the best experiences, but the most depressing watching people on a subway, because it's like you look up and it's like over like 60 or 70% of the people are on their phone like scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Today, while we were standing, I saw this woman with her husband. They weren't talking. And I see the dog. It just looks like you're going into my lap there. There's this woman scrolling on Instagram.
They can see the.
And no one got the joke. Like, no one laughed.
Oh, did you even hear it, babe?
I don't think he got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually wasn't even petting the dog.
Way to save the joke. So this woman posted a photo and was sitting there thinking about what to finish the sentence and what the description was. And she had it like this, holding it, and she was like looking up, thinking to herself. And literally, it was like 3 minutes that she like was like thinking and like hashtagging and then thinking like, what do I post? And I was like, this is so sick that this woman is like sitting here thinking this long. And it was like a photo of her dog. Like probably they just took it like in her kitchen or something. And she's like sitting there trying to figure out what to say about the photo to make everyone like envious of her life or like her cute moment she had with her dog. And I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
So everyone on their phones in the subway. And then also my favorite part is on the way back at night, looking at the people not on their phones, and they're all looking out the windows. And like, I was thinking about stuff in life. And then you're like, what are all these different people thinking about? Yeah. Like, we're all on this subway crammed in like a cattle car, and we're all thinking about different things, or like different stresses or like hopes or dreams. And like that part I think is like really cool and like inspirational, just the people that aren't on their phones and they're just like thinking.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I took the BART one time and we got off at what is the station right when you get back to Oakland under the bay?
West Oakland.
And we're coming out of being underground, and we're in this like, platform, like 50 feet above the ground, and the sun is setting, and it's this gorgeous sunset, and the sky is just like, gold and orange and purple.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, the sunset is beautiful. And everybody else is looking down at their phones. Yeah. And I like look over at this one guy kind of like 15 feet away, and he's looking at, and I just sort of like pointed to him and was like, look at that. He was like, yeah. And we're just like, you and I are sharing the sunset, and 50 other people around us have no fucking idea how gorgeous the world is around you.
Yeah.
Yep. And you know what really gets me is like, and I'm guilty of this too. So I'm not like blaming anybody, because I think we all do it. But when you go out to a restaurant or a bar or something and you're like, hey, let's meet for brunch or whatever you guys are going to do as a group of friends, people you haven't seen, right. Or it doesn't even matter, people you see every day or people you haven't seen for a while. And at some point, inevitably, every single person is at the table is on their phone. And you're like, you're here together to share this, meal or social gathering, and you're still all on your phones.
Yeah.
Like, what's that about? It's like,
it's insulting. It's insulting because it's like you feel like, well, is my company not enough for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a habit that people need to learn how to break.
It's a bad habit.
Yeah, but it's just a habit because like you get a little endorphin rush every time you scroll something and see something.
Absolutely.
It's true. And any downtime, any like moment where you're not engaging with something or working, you just want to go be like, oh, let me get that little boost again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You go straight for your phone. Yeah, you go.
Yeah,
for your phone.
But it could be so easy for you to just go, oh, you know what? I don't actually need those boosts because there's so many other boosts in other things around. Or like, I don't need a boost and I can just appreciate where I am. But that's something that most people don't have the wherewithal to do.
Yeah.
The interest to cultivate.
That's what we were talking about. The more aware you are about it, the more depressed you get about the world.
Yeah.
No. But the more aware you are, and the more aware you are that you're like, well, I'm dependent on this little device and I don't need to be, the more when the zombie apocalypse comes, you're going to be like, oh, wow. I'm just going to I'm going to watch
I don't need to Google how I'm going to survive because I already know how to fucking do it.
I see the crowd forming and I'm already going the other way.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's about awareness.
Nice circle back to the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I've been talking about the whole time, really. But you have to have a little awareness. You have to have an awareness of yourself, awareness of how you think, and then you can change your behavior and you can look at other people's behavior and examine that. Otherwise, it's just not, what's the point?
I think people are getting more. I think slowly certain people are getting more aware and like trying to push this agenda to like not use your phones as much or like not be on Facebook. So like that's giving me a little hope. Like,
so
I'm not great at it either, but like if you're saying that you're aware of it and you're trying to stop sometimes, and I am, like, how many more people are like that? So it's like maybe we could just start pushing the agenda that way.
Okay, and I mean, do you think life would have been simpler if you were like back in a time like Titanic? Like nobody would be like, oh, let me pull out my agenda, because obviously they didn't have cell phones back then, right?
Wait, say that again.
Yeah, we were talking about you.
They're talking about how much you love Titanic.
Well, it's kind of a mutual thing.
Is that my dog behind you?
What?
Is that my dog behind you?
Uh-huh.
Mommy!
Same time. 1, 2, 3.
Mommy!
Oh, is that an ear? Is that an ear? I think I saw ears, maybe.
What a nugget.
That's an ear. She's kind of looking like side-eye. Like,
she definitely would have been like the Kathy Bates character on Titanic, Miss Molly Brown.
Totally. Come up.
You've seen her on a video, have you?
Here she comes.
I haven't seen her. Oh, she's so much bigger.
Mommy!
Oh, sorry, you were napping.
She's like, you people. She's not a fan.
No, she's
hey.
Mom.
Hell no.
Who's that? Who's that?
Nice.
I don't think she understands the concept of a computer screen.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
No,
I'm
okay.
sorry. I know
It's
how
not
I feel when people wake me up.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Look, that's what she does.
Now she wants that.
Yep. Now she wants to pay attention.
Going back to the Titanic thing, so you're saying, what was life? So I don't know what life was like with the Titanic.
Well,
I know there's no phones. That was
So just like the simplicity of.
It'd be great if you were not third class and first class. Yeah, I'd be all down for that.
No way, man. The third class people had like the best parties.
Did you all see Titanic?
Yeah, because they share a bottle of wine amongst.
But the best part is when they're in the basement dancing on the thing, and they're like tap dancing.
The basement of the Titanic.
Irish people, right? That's all I took from it.
I feel like I don't remember it at all. The movie.
So here's a confession. Never seen Titanic.
Oh
my God.
Oh my God.
Shun him.
Hours.
I have better things to do. But it's such a cultural thing that I like know all about it.
Yeah. Well, I would say, okay, so the reason that it's kind of been a joke, because at first, the first couple episodes when Kevin and I would bring up Titanic, it would just happen organically. And now I'll be honest, I'm just like, I just want to keep the streak alive of having Titanic mentioned in every episode that we have.
Titanic organic.
Oh. That could be another segment.
We should just have a whole episode on Titanic.
Ooh, we could probably do it.
I so could do it. I love Titanic.
Well, it's been about like 55-ish minutes, and I don't know if we should do rapid fire questions.
Yeah, we could just go longer.
What does that mean?
Oh, I have to turn the camera off. This fan thing, man, my computer is just like.
I don't have it on my side though, and I'm recording the audio.
Yeah, but you need to put your computer in an ice bath. That's what needs to happen.
Okay, I didn't know computers. Yeah, electronics and water.
That's
BFFs, peanut butter and jelly. Okay, so rapid fire questions are always fun. So basically,
Question to anyone.
the rules are there are no rules. Anybody can ask a question, and it's just you have to answer with the first thing that pops into your mind.
Okay.
Gosh, I was gonna ask. I had some really good ones that I was thinking of earlier.
I have a question, Dahlia. I already No, Dahlia.
Sorry,
I asked this yesterday. If there was we were talking about earthquakes because we're like in the center of Earthquake Valley or whatever you call it.
And we've been having earthquakes lately.
We have?
Oh yeah.
Good, but that's good because you mean
good?
California?
It's like relieving the pressure.
Yeah.
Releasing some tension.
Yep.
What was the
I
question
asked
about
her, I
earthquakes?
said, if the house was like caving in or like sliding down, like sliding down the hill, or we were in a scenario, would you save me or your dog?
Okay, so
we did this before with her dog. So
Would I say
rapid fire answer.
rapid fire Otis because you're not going to be here.
no, if I'm here, I'm physically here.
Well,
And it's like Kevin or Otis.
I would still take Otis because
Oh my God.
I love you, but you're human. You can run. I can be like, meet me here. Where like Otis would be, he needs my
Like we're
help.
both hanging on a cliff, like him with his paws.
A cliff?
and
Where's the cliff
where's
coming
the cliff?
from?
when
bro?
the road opens up and there's a
He
huge
thinks
goes
there's
to the
going to
center
be
of
like
the
a
earth.
giant hole. That's gonna
World War Z.
No, yeah, you've only seen earthquakes in movies.
Yeah.
I've lived through them. They're a little different.
They're not. Yeah, no. Kevin, we would all be together with Otis. How about that?
You can't answer, but all right, I'll accept it.
Well, wait. So,
Friends?
Who did you ask this question to?
Her.
And what did she say?
Not about an earthquake, but I was like, what did I say? You're drowning or?
Just what?
Yeah, you said it was when we were talking about the Could You Survive episode, and it was like the floods, like catastrophic levee failure. And it was, would you take me or your dogs? Or save me or your dog?
So what did you say?
I think I said, I said I would save Kevin because I feel like my dogs would be able to survive. But I mean, I don't know.
You don't think Kevin would survive?
Yeah, but you're all doing the rationalization of whether the dogs could survive. What if the question was, whoever you don't save will die?
Yeah, that's where I'm.
Well, see, that changes it. That's a different question, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a different scenario entirely.
That's not a very fair question.
That's real. Philosophers talk about that all the time. That's like,
what's real?
That's the real question.
Whoever you don't save is going to die?
Yes.
Yeah. People talk about that all the time with all of these self-driving cars. There's this thing of like, no, seriously, they're like, well, you know, there's artificial intelligence that's driving all of these self-driving cars. And artificial intelligence learns through circumstances and learns through information that we feed it. And this is a long answer. This is not so rapid fire. I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know. You guys took it for a different turn, but let's go with it.
But, you know, computers will start to use this, and self-driving cars and the computers that drive them will start to use the same kind of logic that philosophers will use of like, well, okay, if I'm going to mow down one person or 5 people, I'm going to choose to mow down the one and save 5 lives.
Oh my God.
Right?
Jesus Christ. But you're going to have to end up mowing
Okay.
Right.
This is supposed to be a funny podcast, not like a sad and dark one into the darkness of our lives.
Well, no, so the funniness is that if it was a human, they'd probably mow down all of them.
That's true.
Because we're just that good.
Oh my God.
Like that Uber self-driving car did.
Remember, Uber hit some bitch on the side of the road.
Some bitch on the side of the road.
That's what I said before. I said that it killed some like 80-year-old woman walking across the street. The first self-driving Uber. You heard about that?
Yeah, it was. Where was it?
I think it was in San Francisco.
It was in Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. That's right.
No, man, it was not.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally same. Totally the same thing. Okay.
Question.
Yeah, you go.
All right. If you had to eat only one topping on your pizza for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Cheese.
Really?
Plain?
No, cheese is a topping.
But that's like a given.
It's like a pizza.
That's a given, she's saying.
Oh. Well, why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say that?
Because there's like a multitude of toppings.
I work in an Italian restaurant, and a marinara pizza with Calabrian chili, tomato sauce, and herbs. That is pizza.
Without cheese.
Yeah.
For the vegetarians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a little too Bay Area here.
Sorry. Yeah, they're very sensitive over here.
That's my God.
I could deal with that bullshit all the time. Come on.
Are we really that sensitive here?
Very sensitive. They saw someone at the cemetery
Beavers.
not say hi to them walking their dog, and they were like, and Dolly was like, oh, you think people with their dog, like usually people with their dogs are a little bit more friendly. And I was like, oh my God. Like they were like having an intense conversation walking their 3 dogs, and they didn't like walk up and give her a hug. And
not
she
a
was
hug,
like,
but a hey, how's it going? You know, like I think it's really important to, you know, we live in a world where we're just we were just saying, like everyone's on their phone. So like making eye contact and like looking at someone and saying, hey, how are you? And actually waiting for an answer.
Yep.
Happen.
It's like a lost art.
It's a lost art. So when you have an animal, I feel like you're put in a different category. Like having a beautiful little being that like depends on you, that you love and it loves you, makes you a little bit, I think, more special.
Yeah.
And that you hope that you could relate to other animal lovers. So when you see them walking with their animals, you want to look them in the eye and say, hey, how's it going? Great day. Well, a good day for a hike with our dogs, our best friends. And if they don't look at you or wave, it's fucked up.
I actually have a new spin on that I just thought about.
Okay.
Like when I'm with my friends, I like to totally like engage in, immerse myself in what they're talking about. And like, so I was thinking like, for me, like if we were hiking on the trail and we're like talking about like a very intense subject,
that's
like
different.
how amazing Peter is.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, you know, I don't like look at the people walking on next to me.
Okay.
And be like, hi, how are you? It's like every second you're getting interrupted. So I think in my mentality, I'm just like focused on that.
Right. But
and I'm a bitch and I'm shy, so whatever.
Well,
so it's a combination of all of it.
I think we have probably like one more time for one more question, and then I did have I was gonna share it at the beginning, but I had a funny story that that happened to me the other day that I was gonna share with you because I haven't talked to you. Do you want to ask one more question?
Yeah, we do.
We do. Who's gonna
let her rip?
Dahlia, you go.
I don't know.
Just say whatever comes to your head.
Nothing's really coming to my head right now. Somebody else. Tag, you're it.
No, he just asked one.
One more.
What? You want me to ask a rapid fire question?
Ask a rapid fire.
I can't think of a question.
Here's one. I hate to get political.
Oh God.
Should we?
Abortion? Are you?
Is the president of the United States really Kanye West's brother? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
No. No.
Okay.
Kanye West's brother.
Kanye West said that they're brothers.
Bringing up
is Kanye West married to Kim Kardashian? That's
it's supposedly.
Allegedly.
Okay. I'll just answer. We don't need to do any exegesis.
No, we're not. Okay, we're good.
He calls himself Jesus.
Exegesis. That's when you talk about my lyrics afterwards, how deep they are.
Oh man.
Okay, your story.
Okay.
You didn't answer. Oh, she said no.
What? Oh yeah, I did. I know.
That's all I cared about.
Okay. So I hate mowing the lawn more than like anything. Like I don't like, if it were up to me, just like let it grow. Like just let the grass grow, whatever. So anyway, plus
talking about like a bush down under, or it can be talking about your actual yard.
No, like my front yard, like at my house.
Yeah, I know, but I just mean like that's such a good statement.
Okay.
Universal.
Let your grass grow.
Let your grass grow, girl.
Let your grass grow. Anyway, so I had to mow my lawn on Sunday, and my lawn, it looks flat, and it's not. It's got like little divots, but the grass grows in those divots to like even everything out, so it's like an even level. And so what is going on over there?
Now
they're now thinking about your other lawn, not the one in your house.
Oh my God. Not the one in your house. Wink, wink. Okay, anyway. So I always I just try to get the like mow the lawn as quickly as possible, and it's hot and it's sticky and then you get dirty, and I don't like anything about it. All right, maybe I shouldn't tell my story if this is where you guys are going to keep taking it.
Please finish, please.
Maturity level's very high.
But it's actually kind of funny that they're laughing about that, so I'll get to it in a second. Okay, anyway, so I'm mowing the lawn, and I'm like going along, and I hit one of those divots, and the the fucking wheel of the lawnmower gets stuck in the divot, but I keep walking, and then the lawnmower like junk punches me. Like right on the pubic bone, and I have this huge bruise. I have this huge bruise there, and I didn't realize it until yesterday when one of the dogs that I'm watching like came and like jumped on me and hit me in like right in the same spot with their head. And I don't know. I just thought it was a funny visual.
Like, hey, did you get junk punched?
Yeah, I did by my lawnmower. Thank you. Right in the vagina. Here you go.
Never heard of that as being a thing.
For
like
women?
Junk punch is like, if you look it up, is there like, if you look up junk punch, will you get an answer?
There you go.
I'm sure the images will be...
Like look up, can women get junk punched?
Kid, just no. I'm taking a step back. Is junk punch like a thing? Like, I know, like, because you talked about this lawnmower sort of getting stuck and you kept walking. If you were like, hey, you know, I don't know, something in a junk punch, someone's gonna be like, what's a junk punch?
Well, according to Urban Dictionary,
Perfect source.
Junk punch is the act of punching a person, usually male, in the genital area.
Okay.
Also can be abbreviated to JP.
Oh, great.
Stop being an ass or I'll junk punch you, is what it says.
Man, people are really, they've created a subculture of these punches.
Wow.
But then the other one, there's a third definition that says to punch someone in the vagina or penis. So then that means both, not just penis.
Yeah, but if it weren't for the Urban Dictionary, where would we be?
I don't know.
I got so mad at that hoe, I wanted to give her a junk punch.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, that's just.
That's what it says.
Well, I'm sorry about your junk punch. I hope you're
It's
feeling
okay.
better.
It's you know what, it's fine. It's getting better.
Good.
But I just thought it was funny because I was like, that, you know, isn't that how life works? Sometimes you get all like grumpy and in your head, and then bam, like that's what brings you out. Junk punch from the lawnmower.
The JP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Old
The
JP.
You get a junk punch.
The good old JP.
Just back a week or two.
Yep. And well, I guess on that note,
well, I was gonna say you could turn it sexual though too. Like, I really want a JP right now.
Junk punch him?
Yeah. I really want to junk punch.
I don't think that would be pleasurable.
Hey, you know,
I
never
agree.
know.
Whatever you do in your cage is your business. You know,
Release
Whatever
the
you
Kraken.
do in your cage is your business.
yeah,
That's very true.
Yeah, you're not hurting anybody.
Words from the wise.
Well, I guess thank you guys for coming on the podcast and giving us thoughts, deep thoughts and everything.
We didn't talk about the topic we were going to talk about, so I think it was a better conversation.
What's the topic?
Well, we were going to talk about like travel and tips for traveling, but I liked where we went with this anyway. So
yeah, travel sucks.
Here's a tip for traveling.
don't do it.
If you're going to go somewhere, don't try to get off halfway through on your connecting flight because you're probably going to lose your luggage.
Unless you bring a parachute.
Odd, yeah.
Well, this is why this is why it happens. Because they don't want somebody with like an explosive or a bomb in their bag to go, well, I'm just going to get off here and then my bag is going to go somewhere else and blow the plane up. That's why they do that.
Yep.
Oh,
So, Kevin, you essentially just avoided being a fucking terrorist.
yeah.
Jeez.
They were basically going to hem you up. Homeland Security is on its way.
Yeah.
So we should go get tacos before they get here.
Hopefully they pat me down.
Most likely will junk punch you.
Hopefully they pat me down in the right places.
Yeah, pat me down with a JP.
Yeah.
Good old JP.
I've been on my phone too long. I need some real life connection.
Oh my god.
Well,
Contact. I need some human touch.
Oh my god.
Well, thank you guys for coming on again. Well, I would love to do it again. Now that we have this like newfangled technology, maybe we can Skype with you guys when we're here and you're there.
Yes, that would be really rad.
It would be a pleasure.
Perfect. All right. Well, on that note, I guess let's get down to it next time. Do we have to do the whole outro? Like follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah. Don't y'all have like a catchy thing you say at the end?
Let's get down to it.
Let's get down to it.
Until next time.
Until next time. Let's get down to it.
Each other and say it's a little awkward, but your camera's gone again. But
well, I can see you though.
All right. Well,
we don't want the fan to turn on. Anyway,
shout out on YouTube, Instagram, Tumblr,
Facebook, Twitter. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, everything, all the social medias.
And shout out to Egypt and Japan, and UK, and South Africa. We have followers there.
Oh, rad.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
All
right, guys. Well, we'll have to do this again.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Arigato.
Au revoir.